only time I enjoy this person is when that instrumental is coming in before his voice. In the next few minutes, I'll be, going to my guest, but let us settle down, relax a little bit. Maybe you just want to share the page as well. We'll give you the link in just about a minute or so. But for now, it's called Starr Radio UK. If you like, you can also do the dancing wherever you are. May Soret is rest in perfect peace. One thing is, hate him or like him. Even a lot of our parents did not like him. But now everybody's saying, that man. Hey. Sometimes, when you get to listen to Baba 70, may so rest in peace, you will learn a lot. Let's take a short break. And when we come back, we continue with the conversation. And by the time I come back, you'll get to see someone else beautiful. Okay. And, not just beautiful. She's a queen. And she is a queen that will be in Nigeria, to tell us so many things and showcase, the best of what she's done. I'll tell you a little bit about the organization as well. But one thing you can do for us is just share the page, invite your friends, and tell them that there's a show called Niger Voices every Wednesday on Starr Radio UK, and that is the only thing we can get from you. And on the screen now, coming up is the beautiful queen. I will give you a bit of the profile, and then I will allow her to also tell us more about what she's expecting when she comes to Lagos. When they say Lagos, Lagos, a lot of people don't know Lagos. So, but we have some individuals, that knows Lagos very well. And this individual, will be telling us, what they're expecting as well. I'm sure a lot of you remember, the Miss Ebony. Miss Ebony is a yearly event that takes place here in United Kingdom. And every year, there's a queen that comes in and, showcase the best of, the organization. But this individual, I would like her to pronounce the name, but for now, I'll call her Olayemi, and then she can tell me, the other piece as well. She's 22 years of age. I think it's time for me to just, put the picture of her, at the moment. Let's get to, yes. While I'm giving you a bit of background of her, you just keep smiling, because as you're smiling, it's making some people at home happy. They're excited, and they're thinking, wow, this is the only show, the first in the new year to bring a queen into the studio. And that means for me is a blessing. And you're going to be telling us a little bit as well. But for now, let me give you a bit of a background. Olayemi, she's 22 years of age. She's half Nigerian and half Italian. Olayemi will be entering her third year as a medical student at Bath and London School of Medicine and Dentistry. She previously graduated from Queen Mary University of London with a first-class honor, biochemistry. Amazing. I hope you're taking down, this information, because I'm not going to post it to you. This is my own. But aside from her studies, Olayemi advocates empowerment and support a local community. She has multiple roles, one being the Black and Minority Ethnic Officer for Bath and the London Student Association, where she acts as a voice for the BME identifying student. Olayemi is also a tutor of a netball player, student ambassador, and a singer in her spare time. Wow, I'm going to be recording that because she might be giving us a bit of, as well. Let's take you more to a bit of the background more. Olayemi has undertaken multiple voluntary roles, both within the university and independently, as part of the Bronze Duke of Edinburgh Award she achieved in 2014. Olayemi, look, when we tell Nigerians to do volunteering, the first thing they're asking you is there money involved? Money. That is the only thing we know. Look at this individual, first-class honor. With all this, she's still giving her time as volunteer. What are you doing? Let me not, break into that. Let's continue with a bit of profile, and then I can then tell her to, tell us more from where we are ending this conversation. As part of the Bronze Duke of Edinburgh Award she achieved in 2014, Olayemi volunteered for a year with the British Art Foundation charity. She has been a mentor for young children through a youth group she founded in a local community called Young Quarries in 2014. As well as academically supporting children as a tutor, one of our proudest achievements, just like I was mentioning just a few minutes ago, what was your achievement? One of our proudest achievements to date included being a volunteer at King's College Hospital for 4 years. Do you want me to stop and we take it from there? Or do you want me to continue?
You can stop. Let's see.
I can stop. Well, she has asked me on the order of the Queen to stop for now, and then we can continue with the conversation. A very good evening and welcome to Niger Voices.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure whenever it's the Queen. Wow. Where do we start from? Because your bio that I'm still reading, you've asked me to stop, but look, there's a lot inside it. And tonight, what I want our viewers and our listeners from around the globe to take away is someone that was here with us this evening, someone that would inspired, someone that would also be the voice of the people that are thinking, look, it's not going to happen. Once again, on behalf of myself, the management of Starr Radio UK, because when we invite you, you could have said no, but it shows the kind of person you are. Once again, good evening and welcome to Niger Voices.
Thank you.
Let's get to meet you a little bit more apart from what we have read from that bio, which I can authenticate 100%. Tell us, who is Olayemi and what is the pronunciation of that first name? Sorry, I don't want to get it wrong.
It's okay.
So just tell us that, the first name.
Yeah, so my first name is Julia.
Julia.
And the reason why it's spelled like that is because I'm half Italian.
Ah.
And the Olayemi is because I'm half Nigerian.
I could pronounce Julia, but it was spelled how? Tell my listeners.
So it's spelled Giulia instead of the conventional Julia. So
am I okay? Have you accepted?
Yes.
Okay. And I hope you does that, because people will say, you can pronounce Julia, but when it has that G, it's a bit of, Thank you very much for that as well.
It's okay.
You are the Miss Ebony Ambassador Queen you just took over from the last person last year, and then you'll be taking it over for the next 1 year. Mm-hmm. Before we go into the Miss Ebony, I wish we can get Irene, but if not, it's not the first time we're having one of the Queen here, but it's a pleasure to have you here in the studio. Take us through a bit of your background, and then we can kick off to how you've become, the face of Miss Ebony that we're going to be looking at this evening.
Of course, my pleasure. So my name is Julia, and I'm currently a medical student at Barts in the London School of Medicine and Dentistry, which is part of Queen Mary University of London. And so that's the main thing that I do. But obviously, as you can see here, I'm wearing a crown and a sash, and that's because I won the Miss Ebony Ambassador UK pageant competition in 2019. And my role as Queen, I'm going to be holding this for the next 1 year. And I'm really excited to see who will be taking over from me. And so my background is quite an interesting background. First of all, because I'm Italian and Nigerian, I have quite a distinct mix of cultures, which isn't quite common, but it's allowed me to connect with so many different people. And so because I'm a medical student, academia has played quite an important role in my life. And so I did my first degree in biochemistry. And even though I love the sciences, I wanted to do more. I wanted to be able to use the knowledge that I have and be able to directly impact people's lives. And that's why I decided to do medicine. And I was able to gain lots of different experience in order to support my application process to get into medical school. I also do tutoring, and that's because I want to support young kids. And all of the kids that I tutor, they're all from BME communities, because I really I really stand for and advocate for supporting young people of color in order for them to reach their potential and their goals. I'm still going through my journey, but I want to be able to support young people in the start of their own journey. And so I also do quite a few things within my university. So last academic year, I was the Black and Minority Ethnic Representative at Queen Mary University at my medical school. And now I'm actually the first woman of color to be vice president of the Students Association at my medical school, which it's quite historic. It's a monumental thing to be part of. And I'm also part of the first trio of women to hold the 3 most important positions of Barts in the London Students Association. And through these roles, I'm able to empower other people and advocate all of the students that need their voices to be heard regarding any situation or any issue that comes our way. And also, I'm currently president of the African and Caribbean Society at Barts in the London Students Association. And this allows me to learn and grow with other students. It allows us to explore our culture and our backgrounds, as well as being able to celebrate each other's achievements, be able to support each other, and be able to hold different events that are both social events, but also quite, informative and quite academically empowering. So those are a few things that I do, and it's really nice because they're all very different, and it allows me to tap into different circles and be able to network and increase my exposure to lots of different fields. And like you mentioned, I do a bit of music on the side, and I will never forget this, but back in 2017, I backed Stormzy on X Factor, and that was probably one of the highlights of my musical career. But if I backtrack, I'm actually classically trained. So I do gospel music now, but I was trained classically and I did opera. And every year at the end of the academic year, me and my high school choir, we would go on a choir tour to different countries in Europe. So I've performed in Spain, I've done solos in the Vatican, in Italy, France, Belgium, so many different countries. And that allowed me and gave me the confidence to venture out into other fields, which was gospel music, and then be able to land all of these different opportunities on TV. I've been on X Factor as a backing vocalist, The Voice, and Britain's Got Talent as well.
Wow. Can someone listening to us or watching us just give us some love? Because you've given us so much just under 10 minutes. And how old are you again?
I'm actually 23. Yeah, so I turned 23 in August because the pageant took place in June and my birthday was after the pageant.
So how long have you been doing all this?
That's a good question. So I've been doing all of these since high school. So I would say from the age of 15. When I was in year 11 and year 12, so towards the end of my high school, that's when I was able to really get my foot into different things like sports, music. And when I started university, that was when I was able to take it to the next level, because I was given free reins. I could do whatever I want and try whatever I wanted to try. Whereas, in the high school environment, there's kind of boundaries on what you can and cannot do. So it was nice to be able to go to university, even though university isn't for everyone. But for me, I absolutely loved the experience, and I was able to go out, try different things, and be able to expand my network. And I really love seizing all the opportunities that are available my way. So that's how I just started getting into it.
Wow, you are amazing.
Thank you.
One thing you've touched on that, and this is a recorded program, so be rest assured that millions of people, as time goes on, will watch it and listen to it. You've been able to do all this. How did you get all this? How were you motivated? Because one thing a lot of people say is we get motivated from different ways. we get this passion, and that's what I get all the time for what I do. People ask me, where did you get this passion? What drives that passion? So my question to you is, where, how, parents, outside, the world itself, where did you pick up all these? Just 23, and you've been able to bash all this. We've seen a lot. I mean, I've interviewed a 22-year-old here, and she's the youngest. I think she contested for the member of parliament in her constituency.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's only 22. She's the youngest councillor, in the London borough of Dagenham. You are 23, and you've already pushed so much out there. Where did you get it from?
That again is also a good question. I get asked this all the time, like, Julia, how do you do everything? Julia, how do you find the time to do X, Y, Z, ABC? You must be superhuman. I don't understand. Like, I get all of these statements all the time. And for me, the reason why I do these things, there's kind of like three main pointers. One, it's my parents. The reason why I say my parents are a major driving force behind what I do is because they didn't have access to the same opportunities that they have been able to bring to me because of all the changes and sacrifices that they've gone through their lives. And so my parents really underpin, and they really reinforced what hard work and determination can accomplish and what you can achieve by doing that. Number two is my sister. I want to be a role model for my sister, who is younger than me, but also inspire the younger generation. One of my core beliefs, and one of my core beliefs is, whatever I do, it needs to be able to inspire young people, and whatever I do needs to have a long-lasting impact. I'm all about legacy. I'm all about, if I'm going to do this, what am I going to leave behind? What kind of message am I going to put across? And I need to be mindful of the things that I do, so then it resonates with other people. So for me, being a role model and being able to inspire those that are coming behind me, that's another pushing factor. And then lastly, my main motivating factor and drive is to challenge myself and see how far I can go, because I truly believe your mind sets your limits. And if you have no limits, therefore you can do whatever you want to do. And a lot of people become passive, and they don't realize that they are not reaching their potential. And a lot of people also realize, or they might not be conscious of the fact that they're holding themselves back. And what people generally like to be in is in a state of comfort, because comfort feels safe. And so if you choose to remain in a state of comfort, you're going to be living the same cycle again and again. And I think it was Albert Einstein or someone, I can't remember, who said that it's a crazy man who will keep repeating the same actions again and again and expecting a different outcome. And so that really prompted me to think and make sure that I reflect on everything that I'm doing. And if I don't get the outcome that I want, to reevaluate why I didn't, to then keep pushing forward. So I really like to challenge myself. I like so many different things, and I want to see how far I can go with them. For example, with this pageant, never in a million years did I think I'd win a pageant because I'm not the prettiest, but I'm not the prettiest girl, but I wanted to see what I can do, because at the end of the day, it's all about having substance and it's all about having a purpose. And that's something that people need to question every day. And it's something that we kind of forget about. And that's how people can get stuck in, the typical 9-to-5 routines and get fixated in that kind of lifestyle. Not disputing that 9-to-5 routines are bad, but if you want to make a change, you need to be able to be reflective. So yeah, my main driving force is trying to see how far I can go. And like my dad always says, the world is your oyster.
I'm just taking a little bit from that profile again. Julia was sponsorship officer for Equipped Africa Society 2016-2017,
yes,
which support registered charity, Equipped Africa Charitable Trust. During that year, she made a committee manage to raise £2,000. Not only this, she was also the HR officer for St. John Ambulance Link Branch, an organization that encouraged young adults to learn life-saving first aid kits and volunteer at both local and national events. I can say that your focus has always been around the youth. And most of what you've done as well is pushing towards that. You've given me so much that I'm going to go back home. And that's what I will be doing tonight. Because when we're doing interview like this, it's also good to go back and listen to it. And some of what you're saying resonate with a meeting I had this afternoon. Are we too comfortable sometimes as a human being?
Yes. And the reason why I say that is because that's the narrative that's constantly being pushed out in society. If you think about all of the support systems and the way life actually goes, so you're born, you then go to primary school, secondary school, you then are recommended to go to sixth form or college, then to go to university, then maybe do a master's, maybe do a PhD, then end up in employment, then retire, and then that's life.
And you die.
And you die. And sometimes people kind of lose sight of that. Like, if you literally like draw it out, you're only on this earth for a finite amount of time. And the way society works is that you have to, what the narrative that's constantly pushed out is being able to conform to what everyone else is doing. And by doing that, you kind of, the way I say it, you get lost in the sauce, because you want to be like what everyone else is doing, and you want to make sure that you have an income, but then by having like this solid income in a job that you might not necessarily like, you lose focus of what you actually enjoy and what you actually want to do and what you feel your life purpose is. And so what I encourage everyone to do, including my friends, is that if you really want to pursue what you're passionate about and break out of your comfort zone, you need to first of all set an intention. You need to be realistic about why you want to actually do whatever you want to do. Maybe it be become a singer, an actor, or progress in your field. You need to set an intention, and it has to be very personal, and it needs to be something that actually means a lot to you. Then after you've set your intention, you need to think about, why do you want to do this? What impact is it going to have? Is it going to be leaving a legacy? Is what I'm going to be doing going to be positive? How am I going to be contributing? Or how are the younger generation going to view this? Is it going to be of benefit to them? And then when you've thought about all of these questions, then you can start, keep working like your main job that provides you income, because at the end of the day, you need money in order to do things. So you can have your income that is stable, but then also invest time in your current passion. And then as you keep investing time in your passion, best believe whatever you want to do will come to fruition. But I think it's because people are scared of pursuing it and kind of live in a state of fear that, oh, what if it might not work, or this might go wrong, or you think of all of the obstacles before you even sit down and think about what you want to do and what you want to pursue. And because we kind of live in that state of fear, it prevents people from even making the first step. And that's where, and I've even experienced it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Like, I want to start up a YouTube channel, but there's already so many YouTubers out there. How is my content going to be different? I need to have a unique selling point, all of these things. But what I'm doing is I'm holding myself back because I'm thinking of all of the problems as opposed to thinking of solutions to these problems. So what we need to try and do collectively is come out of this state of fear and come out of, and pull ourselves out into a more positive frame of mind, so then we can actually think about, okay, I'm concerned that I might not have a unique selling point. What skills do I have? What makes me unique? So what you do is you think of this issue that you might have identified, but then you now go to the solutions, and that's what we need to keep doing. And by doing that, you'll eventually be able to break out of your comfort zone.
Wow. Do you enjoy Fela Anikulapo Kuti? You know what that is?
No, I don't, sorry.
Okay. for the benefit of those, because sometimes, and I know you don't worry to take up this off because that is your crown.
Yeah.
I will listen to it for a few seconds and I will translate it to you. It's in English though.
Yeah.
But it says, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. This is the real thing that
Okay.
you're telling us here. So let's just take a listen to it as well. Tell me if you can hear it from there. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just enjoy it for a while, and maybe if you want to just do that. This is called Naija Voices. Thank you very much, Ebony, for bringing us the best of those that are within the African context. And there's a lot to discuss. We're going to the second phase and we're looking at the ambassador and your trip to Lagos as well. But for now, sometimes when you go to school, they teach you nonsense. But sometimes when you're out, you realize that whatever you learn from school, you have to understand the market of how things work in reality. Let's enjoy, fella. Should we enjoy a little bit?
Yes, definitely.
Hey. This is Naija Voices. All the way watching is Rob Actor, the World Cinema. We'll be telling you more about that as time goes. But for now, we have Olayemi with me in the studio. It's called Naija Voices. And the whole program is also going to be telling us about who she is. More, she's told us that, but she'll be going to Lagos. We also need your support to make sure that that trip is successful. And be rest assured, Starr Radio UK and Koiki Media will be right behind her. But for now, in the next 1 minute, we are just enjoying this man called Fela Anikula Kukuti. When he says, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. Come and listen to Olayemi here. Hey. Hey. And we'll be taking Fela more. Let's just put a pause on that. Still in there in the studio with me is Olayemi, and I'll let you just put that crown back. I love seeing that crown. I know yours is much valuable than even the Queen's one. Don't worry about it. We won't tell. It's under protective. So whoever, is going to be, we'll protect it as much as we can. We will go into Ebony at the moment, and I'm expecting maybe she might call us into the studio if she's watching me as well. The studio line is pinned there. It's 0208 133 2257. But the next segment now is we're going to go into a little bit about, why you're going to be going to Nigeria, why you've chosen Nigeria. Not because you are from Nigeria, no, but you must go somewhere as part of your, showcase as well. Also, for those of you that are watching us on the Facebook page of Starr Radio UK, I'm going to put that onto the other platform as well. There is the Ebony are having their first 2020 free skill empowerment workshop on makeup. Is this Saturday, the 11th of January 2020, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's taking place at the LBO Training School 102 and Waiting Avenue. I also have a good news. Do you know that?
Oh, good news.
That good news is I'm now been given the role of an ambassador to Ebony.
Oh, fantastic. Yay. It's so nice to have you as part of the team.
That's it. So that is it. That is the way we roll it. So thank you very much, for Ebony, for giving me, that opportunity as well to be, the global ambassador, for Ebony as well. So that is all happening. The link for there to register. And this is where Ebony was able to find, the finest, but currently, Julia, oh, Lord of mercy. She's still single, but she's got a lot in her hands at the moment. So I'm not sure whether she's searching at the moment, but she still wants to make an impact in this world that we are living. Thank you for those of you that have joined us. There's a guy that just joined us called Just a Little Help. Just a Little Help. They do so many things amazing. And one of their last program was, going to give back to the elderly within the BME community, those that are, not been taken care of. They go there, they spend a bit of time with them, give them the amper, and, they do so many things, within the community. And thank you for every one of you that are doing great things within our community and outside our community. We'll appreciate every one of you. This time now, we'll be going into the second phase of this interview. What we've done is, you've given me, that insight, not me, to the listeners. And that is the beauty. So that they won't say, maybe you were just picked up, you've done a lot already, but this crown was just added as not just because, but because you deserve it. And we really know you deserve it. And also, there's a link, that has been set up. Look, and this is where we say to our community, when we bring individuals, or we are saying to you, help and support, it's not because we just want you to do that. We want you to look at it as someone that has helped and is looking to help the community. By now, the GoFundMe should not even be where it is at the moment. By now, I expect our target to have been hit long time ago, because she's already doing so much, and she's still going to Lagos to do so much, and it's going to involve some money as well. So let's now look at, Miss, Ebony Ambassador. What does that mean to you?
So, interestingly, Miss Ebony itself, the word Ebony is actually an acronym. And so it's an acronym for, the E stands for elegant, the B stands for bold, the O stands for original, N stands for noble, and Y stands for youth.
Repeat that again.
So Miss Ebony, the E stands for elegant, the B stands for bold, the O stands for original, the N stands for noble, and the Y stands for youth. So altogether, that collectively forms the Miss Ebony Ambassador UK. And so this title for me, it means so much, because it's given me a platform in order to inspire people from all generations, all backgrounds, and all walks of life. And it's given me the opportunity to give back to different communities and to travel internationally to deliver a voluntary project. And I have been dreaming of being able to do this, because one of my long-term goals as a medical student and as a future doctor is to be able to set up different clinics, different health clinics across the world. And so this will give me the platform to first of all visit a country that I've actually never been to. I've never been to Nigeria. I'm quite excited. It'll give me the opportunity to do that, and then to actually allow me to see the impact that I could have in the future, and gradually draw up plans to make the project that I'm doing now sustainable in the long run, such that when I do qualify, I'll then be able to set up my health clinic. So absolutely love this platform and the organization in itself, because it's open to all women of all shapes and sizes, which I think is quite empowering too, because quite a few pageants nowadays, or quite a lot of them, there's usually a particular image associated with people that place in the top 3, usually slim models. And for me, I would consider myself a plus size model. I'm not like the skinniest of girls. I'm not a size 6 or 8. And so being crowned queen, and for people of all backgrounds to be able to see me, who doesn't conform to the standards of a pageant queen physically, I think that in itself speaks volumes. And it's amazing that Miss Ebony Ambassador UK is able to recognize that and give all women the opportunity to take part.
Since you've been, the queen of, Miss Ebony Ambassador, what are the roles that you've played? And I could tell you, there's a guy watching us. There are some individuals that watch this program, Rob Atto. And I could see maybe they're already thinking maybe we might use you as part of their movie coming out very soon, or in the future. So let's continue with the conversation. What are the roles that you partake since you become, because that role you've done here, but now it's taking you outside the offshore of UK, now going to Lagos. But what are the ones that you've done here before we talk about the ones that you're going to be doing when you get to Lagos, Nigeria?
So one of the main things that I wanted to do as Queen is to be able to learn about different cultures and communities that I'm not personally familiar with. So I've been able to attend different events that are from different countries, but all within the UK. So one of the events that I attended in 2019 was a St. Lucia Creole Day. And for me, I don't know much about St. Lucia at all. I didn't know anything about it, and my knowledge of the Caribbean generally isn't the greatest. And so being able to attend this event, it opened my eyes and it allowed me to appreciate and connect with a culture that I knew nothing about beforehand. And so one of my things this year is to be able to learn about different countries within Africa and the Caribbean in order to just widen my knowledge about these countries and backgrounds, because at the end of the day, we're all connected. So that's one of the things I've been able to do. I've made sure to support different events and initiatives that are happening locally in my community. So in December, I attended a beauty, fashion and wellness event. And this event was essentially a business fair. And it gave me the opportunity to connect with people who are entrepreneurs, who might not necessarily be like, have the greatest platform in order to get exposure, but being able to have quite intimate conversations with them, it was really nice. And I've still remained in contact with quite a few of them, which is really good. And hopefully I'll be able to collaborate with them at some point in the future. But the most important thing that I've achieved today was I organized a Black-owned business fair, and this took place on the 15th of November 2019, and I was able to host at my university. And through this fair, I ensured that only people who identified as Black, so being African and Caribbean, were able to have a stand, and they were able to showcase all of their products to students at my university. So they had access to a pool of hundreds of students, which they may not initially have been able to have an opportunity to do so. And through this event, I was able to raise over £400, and that will be going towards my project when I do travel to Nigeria. And for me, that's one of the things that I really stand for, is being able to support people of color in their different ventures. Because by doing that, we empower ourselves and we empower our own communities to hopefully in the future make them sustainable, and so the future generations can keep leaving that positive legacy of supporting our own people, being able to feed into our communities to then allow them to grow.
We'll take a short break. Mm-hmm. Is that okay?
Yeah,
and
of
course.
Then
so that we can have a bit of a water, refresh a little bit, just for about maybe a few seconds. Those of you watching us, make sure you're going nowhere, because I still have her with me for the next half an hour. I'm going to let her go in time so that she can get back home as well. So, she's still got about 23 minutes with me, give and take. But we take this quick break. And when we come back, we will go into what we're expecting when she's in Nigeria, and then also how you can be part of it as well. Look, agreed, you might say, well, there's problem there, but some people are trying to solve some of these problems. So we need every donation, and we should be able to raise something from this show tonight. Yeah. Do we agree? So let's take that break, and when we come back, remember, this is still
online, on mobile, Swan DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
So we come back in just about a minute. For now, this is Starr Radio UK.
Professional. Are you currently having capability or disciplinary issues at work? Have you recently been referred to the NMC, ACPC, GMC, any other regulatory bodies? Do you need confidential expert advice on work issues and professionalism? Do you need representation for your NMC, GMC, ACPC, interim or substantive hearing? If your answer is yes, please contact Dr. Abiaki Oshu of ERRAS, Employment Rights Representation and Advisory Service Group. 0208 305 7438 or 0207 140 0111 0745 195 6510. Our team of experts are ready to assist you.
Yes, we've been having a very beautiful interview here in the studio with the Queen. Right here with me. It's always good to have the Queen. Whenever you see the Queen, arriving in Nigeria, make sure you are ready to host her. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria, one of our own, Segun Agbola, Chima, Shobo, Ayokunle, Abdurrahman, Asuni, Sonny Bennett, and also Tunji that just joined as well. Please continue to share the page and invite your friends. Still in the studio with us is Julie Olayemi. Thank you very much for being with us on Starr Radio UK. Let's now look into your trip to Lagos, Nigeria. This is coming up very soon, and you're going to be engaged with a lot of activities. The first thing I want to know is, what are we expecting on ground, and what after the whole trip? I know you can't emphasize what would happen, but what are you expecting to get back as well? I know you're going to give, but what are you also expecting to get back? But going to Lagos, how excited are you? Because you've never been to Nigeria, have you?
I've never been to Nigeria, and especially being half Nigerian, it's going to be quite nice to be able to connect even more with part of my background and learn more about my heritage on the ground, like in person, firsthand. And I'm really excited to be able to deliver my project. There's going to be a lot that's going to be happening. Like, we've got a provisional timetable already arranged, and it's jam-packed with visiting different organizations, as well as me leading different activities and giving different talks as well. We'll go into details of what they're going to be, but literally just seeing the whole schedule, I was like, oh my, I might need coffee. But it's going to be quite amazing, and I hope that the impact that I have will be long lasting and that people will remember my visit there. That's the main thing. That's, like I said, I'm all about legacy. What am I going to be leaving behind? So I'm going to be having lots of different meetings with different people, and then coming back, I feel like the experience is going to change my life. And the reason why I feel that is going to happen is because being born and raised here and being part of the diaspora and like second generation of children who have parents who are from like Africa or from countries that are not within the UK, it's definitely going to be a culture shock initially, because I'm going to be in an environment which I'm not used to at all, and it's going to be completely different to what I've grown up in and what I'm familiar with. And so that in itself is going to be a major learning curve, going to be able to experience new things and actually gauge the true essence of Nigeria and Lagos and what we're all about. And so from there, I'll be able to reflect on the experience and be able to share my experience with people. And I think me going out there in person, coming back and then sharing with everyone what I've learned and what we can do better to support, you know, our background and the countries that we're from, that's going to be more powerful instead of just like doing research online. Going there in person to see any of the issues and to also celebrate our successes is far more powerful.
So there's a different, you said something now, doing research and doing the practical.
Yeah.
So going to do the practical is different from that research.
Yeah, of course, because a lot of people feel like by doing the research, you're going to be prepared for absolutely anything. You're going to be prepared for every single scenario that could come your way. But that's not the case, because you can't predict every single moment and every single thing that's going to happen. And it's very different trying to learn about a culture via social media and through the online platforms that we have access to, as opposed to going there in person and seeing with your own eyes and your own senses what the country is all about. And so that's why I encourage people who have a heritage outside of the UK to visit your home country, so then we don't lose touch with our roots. And that's what I'm really excited to experience myself.
Let's take a bit of background to what the the mission and vision of Miss Ebony. The mission of this contest is to empower African youth living in diaspora, United Kingdom, creating a youth ambassador, which we've got one now, and you'll be traveling to Lagos as the crown queen. However, all contestants will benefit from the skills empowerment scheme. 9 weeks to grand final of the contest. This entails workshops, seminars, and these are part of what she's taking place as well, that you have done already. Seminars with the structures such as the imbibe any of the following skills, from basic sewing, bread making, makeup, hair braiding, and also these are life skills that are always useful tools as both a hobby and entrepreneur benefit as well, and that goes on and on. Thank you for those of you still locked in as well, watching us from around the globe. We really appreciate you, and like we say, we couldn't have started 2020 better than what we are doing at the moment. So the trip, we then have all these around you as well, but the question is, if those on ground, because definitely, like you said, and that's what I enjoy when people say they're going to do the practical, because sometimes we're expecting somebody else to tell us. You could have said, you know what, let me do it in Birmingham. There are a lot of Nigerians that are African, but you've taken that bold step to say, you know what, whatever it is, we'll face it, we'll look at it. Now, what I want you to tell our listeners is, because sometimes we say it all the time, to support, because as much as you already have a great support from your friends, your network, and people around you, but sometimes, and when we say support, people think, oh, it's financial. No, it's not just financial. Sometimes it might just be a message on Facebook, you know what, kudos, you're going to, and that also uplifts you as well, because everybody goes down at some point. What will you tell those that are watching us and those that are listening to us right now in terms of the support? All the links for those that wants to support is already on the page. Please click on that link. Let's get a bit of a donation in as well for her tonight on this show. But what will you tell those watching us and listening to us?
So in terms of support, there's actually so much that people can do. Yes, obviously financial contributions and donations would be amazing, but there's far more that people can do, especially if you're not in the position to provide financial support. Because I'm a university student, so I do know the financial struggles that we go through, so that's completely all right. But for those of you that can donate, please do donate if you can, because every contribution, every £1, it will all add up, and that would be amazing. But there are other ways. Even just sharing a post that you might see on any of the social media platforms of Miss Ebony Ambassador UK, that will work wonders. And sometimes people don't realize the impact that even just sharing a post has, because you're widening and expanding the audience of that organization or that person or that entrepreneur. So even just sharing something is amazing. And if there's any advice or even any tips that you have of things that you would like me to see, me do when I do travel to Nigeria, let me know. Like, that would be absolutely amazing, because by having an input and having a say in what I'll end up doing, you engage with this project as well. At the end of the day, this project, yes, I am the person that's going to be physically going there, but it's the opportunity for all of us to have an impact, and for all of us to collectively come together to make sure that we're delivering a project that will have a long-lasting impact, and it's not just lost in the dust and forgotten when I come back. So those are the kind of things that you can do. You can donate if you can. You can just share a post if you want to, and you can also like send me a message. I reply to my messages quite quickly. I'm not too bad. And share any tips of whether you have traveled to Nigeria, or if you have delivered any projects, what you learned, what you found from your experience by doing your projects, and if you have any tips that you feel would benefit me before I travel, let me know, because I am receptive to any ideas that will make my project long-lasting and have a beneficial impact.
Wow. Still with us for the next 10 minutes. She will give us a very powerful, and when that is happening, I normally, also do a bit of recording as well, because I want to keep that, I do that with all my guests in the studio. Right now, it's still time check is 19:20. She's still have about 10 minutes to spend with us in the studio, and that we can look at, some of our reviews from what we've done, in 2019 and what we're expecting to do in 2020. But one thing is, the journey is taking place next month. We want everybody to give us everything possible so that she can have a very successful trip as well. And also, before we go further, the Ebony herself, what would you like to say? Because a lot of time, I'm not saying you're taking the shine, but you are the queen, and we must put you there to take the shine every day, every out. And as an ambassador now, my duty is also to make sure that the platform is well known globally. What message would you like to deliver? And I repeat again, what message would you like to deliver to Miss Ebony herself?
So the message that I have for Miss Ebony is that you have no limits. You can do whatever you want to do, and you can achieve greatness whenever you put your mind to it. The only person and the only thing that can stop yourself or limit yourself is your mind. And when you overcome that, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's something, as queen, that is something that I try to advocate through all the different roles that I have, that you are limitless and you can do whatever you can. You just need to have a passion for it, and that passion and that motivation will carry you through.
Wow. You've had it there. You must just have that passion, and that would also carry you too as well. You will be the face within the next few months of Miss Ebony as well. And you have done a lot, and you're still working towards doing so much. What happened after, I know the focus is Lagos, but definitely I'm sure there's a lot of other things that is also going to be coming up as well. What are you expecting after Lagos trip?
So afterwards, I definitely will be organising another Black-owned business fair, but I haven't decided yet if it's going to take place before or after my trip to Nigeria. Ideally, I would like for it to take place before, so then I can fundraise a bit more money as well for the trip. But when I come back, two of the important things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be visiting my primary school and visiting my secondary school. And it's been so many years since I've been there. And the reason why I want to do that is to show to young children what you can achieve and what you can do when you work hard and when you genuinely have a passion for something. And I want to inspire them, to keep going, especially with, the influence of technology, and I feel that has contributed to the increase in distractions that are available for young children and teenagers nowadays. I just want to remind them that when you really focus and put your energy in a good place, you can do whatever you want to do. And so those are the two main things that I'm going to be doing, having a business fair and also going back to my primary and secondary schools just as a visit. And I do plan to support other pageants as well, and to meet other pageantry like UK kings and queens, and to also support their projects too. So I recently connected with a candidate who's in the Miss World Guyana European candidates, and we're supporting both of our projects. I consider her as a sister. I'm supporting her project, which she will hopefully be delivering in Guyana and in London. And she's been supporting mine as well. And whenever you have that support from, you know, your friends, it really allows things to go into motion and to move even further. So I'm excited. The time's gone by really quickly. I can't believe I'm already halfway through my reign, so to speak. And I'm just going to enjoy the last 6 months that I have.
Your point is so valid in the sense that you know, looking at so much of the going back into that profile, which I'm just going to go into the last bit of it as well. She has a great plan this coming year to make a meaningful change and leave a long-lasting legacy. This includes improving quality of health care in hospitals across Nigeria, addressing the crisis of orphans, as well as challenging the mindset behind skin lightening creams. Julia decides to constantly push boundaries as propel her to do everything she does and make a real contribution. Healthcare is a real issue, as we know, especially for mothers that are, you know, giving birth, for also the young ones as well. Let's touch a bit, you know, within the next 5 minutes that we still have with you. What is something that you, as a medical student that you are at the moment, that you believe or think we can do to make healthcare accessible for everyone, regardless of who you are, whether you're rich, poor, you live in a remote area, you live in London, you live in, you know, America, you live in Lagos, you live in Okokomaiko, you live in Enugu, you live in Jamaica, you anywhere. From a bit of what you've done so far, how do you think, or what do you think we can do to make health care accessible for everybody?
That's a constant challenge that we're facing, and it's not even just in the UK, but I think it's just globally in terms of accessibility of healthcare. And I think one of the things, well, especially in my medical school, that we encourage is volunteering. Even though, yes, we're going to become medical students, and, you know, that's a great challenge in itself, but being able to contribute locally to your communities by participating in volunteering programs, it encourages and promotes that need and the good qualities of being able to give back to your community, even though as a doctor you're going to be giving back to your community, but being able to give back voluntarily. And so other things that we can do in terms of improving accessibility is looking out for each other. And I know that's a really big statement, but let's break it down a bit. So what I mean by looking out for each other is, you know, speaking to your friends, but being able to create safe spaces in order to allow your friends or family to like confide or be able to share any health issues that they're having, because there are quite a bit of stigmas attached to different health conditions which can prevent people from going to the hospital in the first place. So being able to create you know, a safe space and a friendly community within our own social circles, that would encourage people to go forward and seek any help if they need to through the healthcare system. And lastly, it's very tricky because I completely love what the NHS is standing for. Healthcare should be free for everyone at the point of access. And I think that's something that all countries across the UK, across the world, sorry, should be striving for. Yes, it's very difficult because, you know, there could be financial differences between countries and so on and so forth. However, I think that's something that we should strive for, because at the end of the day, yes, you can have lots of different jobs, but you need to be healthy in order to do those jobs. And so I think there needs to be a shift in mindset to allow healthcare to be prioritized and to actually get the funding that it really deserves. So it'll be interesting to see how the NHS does, you know, change and develop within the next decade. And I really hope it continues to go in a positive direction, because what the NHS stands for is something so beautiful. And I really hope that other countries are able to you know, replicate this in some shape or form, which I know it will differ between countries, but I think it's something that we should strive for.
As we are winding down within the next minute, and this could be something, because I'd love to release it so that you can be able to get back home on time as well. As we're winding down within the next minute, which will be your closing remark, I want you to give us something. I know you've said a lot within the last 1 hour, but this will be a short one that could touch anyone out there. This is 2020, and a lot of people are feeling unhappy. A lot of people are sad, and it's everywhere. Even watching, sometimes some people say, I don't even want to watch what is going on in the TV. It's just a lot. So what I want you to take your time. Don't rush, even though I said it's a minute. Don't worry, you've got enough time. You're the queen. So give us something to take away, and that would be something that we can hold on to on this show. And I will put that on the link, so every time I come back on a Wednesday, if I come in, I can refer back to that. So I'll let you carry on.
Of course. So my take-home message, or I hope what you are able to take home from this interview, is to keep going. Keep going. Whatever you are doing, just keep pushing. Yes, you might not be in the position that you want to be in. Yes, you might not have reached your goal, but keep going and enjoy the process. That's what I always keep telling myself. Keep going, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Because when you reach the goal, you'll be able to look back and be like, I did this. I had the power, I had the strength, I had the motivation to keep going, and I achieved what I wanted to achieve. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a roller coaster like this. I can confidently say it's going to be a roller coaster, and that's okay, because you'll be able to learn so much. If everything that you wanted to do, you could do with the click of your fingers, you wouldn't really enjoy it. You won't really get much satisfaction. And so what I keep saying is just keep going, keep moving forward. And I know this is copyrighted by Nike, but their slogan, "Just do it," is the most powerful slogan that's actually out there. Because if you just do it and just keep moving forward, you're going to be in a different position that minute compared to 1 minute ago. So just keep going, keep moving forward, just do it, and enjoy the process and the journey. And what I'd also say is, when you are going through your journey, do take moments to reflect on everything that you're doing. And the reason why I say to reflect is because it's very easy to get sidetracked and to lose sight of why you started to do something. So for example, when I started medical school, I would really, I would experience highs and lows. Sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, this course is so hard. Like, how am I going to get through all of it? It's too difficult. And so I had to remind myself why I even chose to start doing medical school in the first place and why I decided to go through this career path. And you have to find personal reasons, and you have to remind yourself of the intentions behind anything that you do. So just to remind you, make sure you keep moving forward, because that means you're going to be in a different position. Keep reflecting as well. Just do it. I know we have the habit of saying tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. No, do it now. Do it now, because then your future self will be thankful that you did it yesterday. I hope that makes sense. So, and the last thing is just to enjoy the process.
And what we're doing now, this is live. We're still live with you. Before I'll take the screen off you, so those watching us can still see us together, is we're going to change the voice that we use, to say Naija Voices every Wednesday on Starr Radio UK. So I'm going to give you that, and you read that out, but I will record it as well.
Okay.
And then we will then, put that onto our platform. So every Wednesday when I come onto the show, before starting the show, this is what I normally play. So you are now going to be the voice of Naija Voices for the next 1 year.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's
so
amazing.
so take your time,
Yeah.
digest it. It's not a lot. Niger Voices on Star Radio UK every Wednesday. You can then add your own, check it out or whatever you want to say, So I'll let you know when I'm ready. And let's again say thank you to Irene watching us all the way as well, and every member and the management of Ebony for making it possible to have you with us this evening. And then here we go. I'll say 1, 2, 3, go.
Niger Voices and Star Radio UK every Wednesday. Come check it out.
That's it. You want to do another one, or you want to take that one? Is that okay?
I think that was good.
That was good. That's
wonder.
it. That's it. So that is it. And once again, thank you very much for giving us your time, and we'll let you make your way. And I'm sure, be rest assured that the radio station and the other media will be with you right from the airport here up to the airport in Nigeria, and make sure we're with you as well in Nigeria. Be rest assured that you're on a safe hand. I could tell you we have a lot of our listeners that will get back to me, and they will put in 1 or 2 things together. We're also trying to work you to have a courtesy visit to one of the royal palace as well. All that we'll be discussing with Ebony at the back room later on as well. So thank you once again, and have a very good evening.
Same to you. Thank you.
Well, that is Miss Ebony there, and we continue with the show. This is still Star Radio UK.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Well, in the next 2 minutes or so, we will be bringing this program very close to an